Hello. 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 Camera's actually over here. Hello. I tried to put my a little image of myself as close to the camera as I could without cracking open my my monitor and feeding the camera through it. It's very strange to I've said this before and I'll say it probably at least a few hundred times. It's very strange to look at an image of myself, or like a moving, currently active image of myself doing things, because I don't look at mirrors very often, and it's not out of like face shame or disgust or fear or loathing or any of that. I don't do it because I don't feel the need to. Jackie and I were talking. We just went on a walk. Actually, we went to go on a hike, but it is currently Father's Day, and it's also a Sunday, and also the weather is beautiful. So there were like dozens and dozens of unmasked individuals just like walking in big sneeze clouds, you know, spitting on their hands and slapping all everywhere. No, it's just too many people, and you know, coronavirus cases are still rising. So we decided to reschedule it at a time where we can't bring, you know, this death plague into our own house. Anyway, we came back and decided to go on a little walk around our neighborhood, because we still wanted to get the leg work, get the leg exercise going with everything. Yeah, I didn't hit the water. And don't do it. Oh, that's so close. And one of the things we discussed was how when this new iteration of the Black Lives Matter movement started, early on it, Jackie was coming to me with every new piece of information about police brutality, atrocities, unjust situations, systemic racism, things like that. And there were a ton of them. Every day it was, you know, it wasn't just one, it was a handful of news stories about it every single day. And after a little while, I had to be like, hey, I get that you're passionate about this stuff, but can you not bring that news to me every time it comes up? And you know, at first she was a little upset, thinking that I was like excluding her from the discussion, and it's not that. And I realized what it was today as we were talking. This is new news to Jackie, because for the first time in her life, and like, this is not a condemnation on her. I need to make that absolutely clear. This is not a condemnation on anybody who is now helping with this situation. But this isn't new news to me. I made an example of the situation. Like, what if every time I open the newspaper and there was specific, targeted, aggressive violence against women, I brought it up to Jackie? See, that sounds like, well, of course you should. Of course you should show her that you care about the stuff and that you're paying attention and you're seeing how rough it can be. The problem is, it happens so much that it would be overwhelming. It would be depressing and disappointing and not really good for her psyche, you know? It would be such a continuous onslaught of just bad news about the state of the world we live in. And it's like, I'm not saying that like I should close my eyes to the situation at hand in terms of violence and ill treatment of women, but I'm also not saying that she should hear someone constantly bring it up. Even I think another woman talking about it constantly would get kind of exhausting. But it would especially be exhausting to hear me talk about it. Every way I've thought about phrasing this feels wrong and bad. It feels like I'm saying, like, shut up if you don't have first-hand experience, and that's not what I'm saying at all. And I hope that that's... Ooh, that was kind of scary. I hope that that's clear, because I don't... Allies in this whole situation have been incredibly helpful and extremely valuable in a number of ways. Oh no! Well, fucked up a lot of stuff there. I didn't mean to open that up. I meant to take the teleport back to the thing. I really meant to open the brown chest. That was so fucked up. I have no idea where the secret room is. Oh, it's probably up top. No, it's probably not. Well, that's a weird, wild bummer. The gold gun is not very good. For a number of reasons. One, you spend most of your time reloading. It is good. It is better in the hand of a person that has a native fast reload, but still not great. It's weird. It's weird to just have that as the only item you've got in the... what was I saying? See, as soon as I like leave the floor, finish the fight or whatever, I can't remember where I came from conversationally. As soon as I have to make a decision about an item or something. Oh yes, talking about... Oh, okay. So I very vocally and very openly appreciate the amount of discussion, especially people that are not directly related to the issue, are giving. Like, there's been an incredible movement by K-pop fans to support the United States, the BTS. I don't know what that stands for, but BTS has been extremely like quietly supporting the United States in this. And I think, you know, with coronavirus efforts and with the Black Lives Matter protests, and the fandom has stepped up to, like, the weirdest bit of news, right? The fandom for K-pop has stepped up to show their support online. They've been making, like, they've been making things really difficult for people who are unable to see how obvious how obviously the situation is fucked. Like, and you know, that kind of support, that kind of activism is absolutely amazing. And I'm not saying that kind of like a, but what I'm saying is, we probably need to get that key. I don't want to spend the money right now, but we should. But what I'm honestly saying is that that's different than the constant reminder of the still weirdly tragic state of race relations in this country. Like, I don't believe that whoa, that was crazy. And like, gender relations, like, it's crazy. We watched a thing, there's those Netflix History 101 or something, History Explained, or whatever they're called, you know, mini documentary series. You watch one about, like, women's rights in the United States. And it is still insane that protections for women, equality for women, is not ratified into an amendment of the Constitution. Like that blows my mind that the legal language of this country still excludes women from the discussion. Like, and you can say whatever you want about the word men meaning not specifically male human beings or whatever, but if that's the case, then why the fuck isn't it just, why the fuck isn't like the, I think it's the ERA or whatever, the, just ratified? Why isn't it just written into the language if it doesn't, if it already is implied? Just make it not implied, make it explicit. And I think that's the problem with that. I have a lot of answers. And like abortion rights, like there's so many things that are still fucked up and backwards, and other people controlling what other people can do and not making exceptions or understanding for a situation. Like this country had like a wave of insane anti-abortion legislation happen recently that basically gave rapists huge control over what happens to their victims and their victims' children. Like, how insane does the world have to be for it need to be said that that's not okay? You know, like, what a crazy fucking world we live in where someone tries to pass a law that says rapists have visitation rights to the children of the women they raped, and those women are not allowed to have abortions. Why is there legal precedent for that being okay? It's basically saying that the rapist is not a criminal, but the victim is, or could be seen as such. Like, it's so fucking bananas that it's like, it's hard to even imagine that we live in a world where that's the case. Someone said it very succinctly, and I know I'm getting not necessarily high horsey, but I'm like, I'm talking about a subject that I've talked about plenty, but they said it very succinctly, and I hate to use someone else's words, but it's a valid point. Like, if the Supreme Court hasn't had to have a meeting to decide whether or not you deserve the same rights as other people, that's what privilege is. Like, that, not needing the nation's highest legislative body to tell you that you deserve all the freedoms that other people deserve is the exact issue at hand, you know? And it's crazy. Like, it's so crazy that, like, people can't understand that. Like, people can just be considered the default character and not realize how different that makes things for them. I was talking, you know, when we were talking, one of the things I brought up was how, like, as a kid, I kind of got irritated a lot of the time because my mom, my grandma, my grandparents often would, like, anytime there was news of like a prolific a black astronaut or a black writer or someone with an incredible accomplishment who was black, they would make sure I knew about it. And it was frustrating because it kind of felt like, you know, as a kid, I felt like they were saying, like, look, even black people can write books, or even black people can go into space or do mathematics or whatever. And it's just like, it's like, man, we're so desperate to be at the base level. But as I understand, is the reasoning was twofold. One is that, you know, I shouldn't give up on whatever I believe I would like to do because it might seem like there are obstacles in place. And two, that there are huge obstacles in place. There are huge, getting to the starting point for a lot of people is an uphill battle. And I think that that's what what people can't realize. They think that like everybody starts at the same point and it's fully, oh boy, I'm glad I didn't use both keys. It's fully up to the individual to handle it beyond that. Everybody's at the starting point, and then from there it's your own effort, your own willpower, your own et cetera, that makes you go forward. But you have to expend so much effort as a poor person, a minority, a woman, person of a different sexual orientation or identity. You have to expend so much effort to get to the starting point that other people have to commit to their goals. Like, imagine you have all of the qualifications for a certain field, and someone says, you know, they don't say it directly, but you realize that there is no one in your field that looks like you. Not a single person. Imagine how much harder it is then to break up this group, to be an outsider who says like, oh man, that was close. I see that this is their club and they look like this and they get to make the decisions, and you know, I see that and I am gonna force my way in regardless. It's very hard. When you go to a room and everyone looks just like you, you get a little bit of like, not an advantage. That's the thing. It's like everybody else starts at negative whatever number and you just start at 0. And it's not that 0 is an idealized position. You're not starting at 10 unless you're super rich or you have like connections through family or whatever. Starting at 0 is so much more of a rewarding place to begin than starting at negative 10 or negative 5 or whatever it is that's like giving you this uphill battle from the beginning. And people who have always thought, they think that everybody's at 0 at birth, they just can't comprehend why people would complain, you know? And it's hard because with those people, you can't convince them, because the only experience they've had is their own. They've always been sure that every single human being starts at the same starting point. So you saying that is like asking them to understand that the rules have been different some of the time for some of the people. I thought that chest was a glitch chest. I was about to get real excited, even though a glitch chest on this floor would fuck up a whole lot. Well, it wouldn't fuck up a whole lot. It'd make things weird. I wouldn't be able to go to the Abbey or the Rat, which I don't think, I mean, I would rather go to the glitch chest fight, obviously. But I don't even know if I'm going to go to the Rat. My guess right now is probably not. Ooh, that was a little stupid. Pretty close. Good. Man, you fly through that angle so quick. The keys. The key. That's hilarious. So now we want the rectangular, right? Oh man, I totally didn't imagine that would be the key that we got, or the weapon that we got. It is very strange that one of our... we haven't had a... Well, we probably have had a 2-key boss drop situation recently, but still very uncommon. And to just say the keys to the same degree and then get that is so good. It's funny. It's so funny. I don't know. I think that's like such an interesting point when now that I've had to like put it into words in such a way. Oh God. I can't wear this stupid thing for 2 difficult floors. Yeah, I don't know. It to someone who's entirely outside it, it does seem like whining, like, oh, you have a little bit of a struggle. Boo hoo. Bloodly, hoo 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 hoo. But it isn't just that. Like, it's the money thing too. I mean, it's like the money thing. So imagine you're well off, right? You're like really, you're well off enough to afford a driver. This person gets you from place to place without you having to expend the energy. You can use that time to then relax. You can use that time to work and get ahead. You can use that time to do whatever you choose to do. Or let's not even go that far. Let's say you can afford a car. Anytime you need to go somewhere, you hop in your car and you go. You can afford all your payments. You can afford all of your insurance, gas, or electricity, whichever one you use. And there's never an issue about coming in that. Versus someone who has to ride the bus in the United States. In many places, riding the bus is the standard. It is zero, you know? And in those places, the system is built around that being the case, so you are at zero when you're waiting for the bus. Oh man, that was close. Waiting for the bus, I've done it. I did it for 2 years in Kansas City. Waiting for the bus means getting there early, sometimes waiting for huge delays, showing up to work late, even though you were there 30 minutes early for your bus ride. It means making sure that you have the proper change or the pass or whatever you need. It means scheduling your entire day around a system that's out of your control. And no one that has experienced it, no one who can choose to either take the bus or take their car would ever choose taking their car if not for trying to prove a point or just because, like, Jackie has done it because she works downtown and parking downtown is insane sometimes, you know? It's because there's another inconvenience. And like, it's really obvious how much more it takes out of her to get to the bus, wait, deal with the other passengers, deal with the bus driver, deal with the schedule, the stops, the fact that you could miss your stop, things like that. Like, those who have free time to do this stuff, and there's other things that come with being broke that I think people are unwilling to honestly look at. There's the fact that, like, it's hard to afford nice clothes, so looking like a prime candidate for a job is innately more difficult. It's hard to keep your clothes clean. It's hard to be presentable. It's hard to look like someone they want to show off. It usually means that you have less of an education, so you find it harder to talk about stuff or express your skills or desire for the work at hand. There's so much that gets in the way of it because of money. And you know, the same thing goes for race. A lot of the times, like, Oh, this is something that... Oh, man, that sucked. This is something that gets under my skin so bad, and I think is so problematic. You know, if you have a very... What's a good way to say it? No, it's not a good way to say it. What's a way to say that gets the point across? If you have... oh my god, that sucks. An ethnic sounding name. If you have a name that sounds like you are a minority, you are significantly less likely to get approved for a loan, to get a callback for a job, to get the same opportunities that like a Brad Wilson would get if your name is, you know, a name that sounds like a minority. You just have a better starting point as whatever the expected person is. And, you know, there's a good chance that if you were in another country where Brad Wilson wasn't the name, you could maybe feel this, but it's kind of like a worldwide problem at this point, where the expectation is that, that's crazy, neither of those are the right, anybody with a white name, a white person, is probably specifically going to have an okay time. Just because. That's just... They're not going to have to deal with the same immediate hurdle to overcome, something they can't control. Like, and I talked to, like, Jackie's mom was, whose name is, oh my god, whose name is Ingrid, asked why wouldn't they just then put a fake name on the application. And there's two reasons. One, they shouldn't have to, because that's ridiculous, and it'll be seen through soon anyway, and then it'll feel like they're lying. And two, there are many things in which you cannot forge a fake name and then still get the job. You can't. I can't put somebody else's name on an application for a home loan. It's tied to my social security number. Oh man, I totally was supposed to open up those guns first. Oh. It's tied to my social security number and other identifying things like my driver's license and stuff like that. I don't get the choice to be someone else if it's going to be beneficial without like literally going in and changing my name from a legal standpoint. And that's not an easy thing to do. And you know, like in the book Fall by Neil Stephenson, he presents a situation in which people have, they have an online ID tied to like an online biometric reading kind of avatar state, or situation where they don't, none of that stuff shows up. Your ethnicity, your origin, your income level, any of that stuff, any of that stuff is basically immediately hidden from the public eye, so everybody is at a similar starting point. And I think that would be a great situation, because then you could fully hire people based on qualifications. There are still issues with getting to those qualifications being problematic, but you got to start working the system at some point to make it equal and fair and consistent for everyone. We're gonna go ahead and the science canon, really? Wow. Yeah, but it's like, it's so weird how many people will say like, well, just do just manipulate the system so that it works in your favor. And it's like, you can't. The system will find a way, and it'll chew you up and spit you out similarly. It'll say, you can't get away with, like it's like people who, like the mother who used a friend's address to get her kid to go into a better school, and then she got 5 years in prison for trying to make the situation better for her child. People are like, well, you know, their taxes pay for the school. And it's like, you don't you see how hard it is for people to get better? And the answer is yes, they do. They absolutely do. But like, that's not the narrative they want to promote at that time. They want to say like, well, the woman did the wrong thing and her property taxes aren't paying for the schooling, so so her kids, you know, fuck them forever. Like, and it's just mind blowing. Like, I want the Luxembourg. I just want it. Oh man, we got prices down, money up. What a good situation to be in. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't think that everything in the world is tied to racism. I don't think that, like, every opportunity is hidden behind a race barrier. And I don't think that, like, everybody makes decisions with ill intent. I do believe that those exist. And I do believe that there are some situations that are... so fundamentally normalized as racist that people don't even see that it's problematic, and they don't want to because it makes them feel bad. Like, it's the whole thing that, like, people are saying that, like, it's just racism is bad, but so is accusing someone of being racist. It's like, it's not even in the same fucking ballpark, dude. It's like, it's really not. Racism is devastating completely. Oh my god, I didn't expect that. Damn it. That surprised me way too much, and that's... that's a crazy good way to lose. Lead God, that's so insane. That scared the shit out of me. I guess I should have tested one of these before I came in the fight. Oh man, that's a cool synergy though. Whoops. Well... don't get hit anymore. I thought it was just going to be a big ol'... I thought it was the even bigger quad laser shot. Dang, that sucks. I lost a ton of money in that fight. And I lost my lead god, but... it's funny though. Yeah, I don't know. I keep, like... I keep hearing people use arguments where it's like, you know, looking for the racist reason behind everything is escapism, or it's scapegoatism is, I guess, what I mean, instead of accepting your shortcomings. And I definitely think that the final result of things needs to be the individual stepping up and facing any challenge that is brought before them head on, because being upset about something is not going to make it go away. But accepting something as the way it should be is also absolutely insanely the wrong way to approach any of this stuff. Saying, like, because racism isn't always the reason we should do nothing about it is just so fucking insane to me. Like, it's so insane. And it's funny, like, that conversation I've been having with the person in my raid group or whatever. It's been weird because, like, at a certain point, I think he wanted the conversation to stop being about systemic racism and police brutality. So he just said, like, I agree with you. Like, why are we still talking about this? And it's like, he never... It only feels like he agreed because he wants to shut the conversation up. He's tired of so many examples of his points being proven wrong. And it's like, it's frustrating because those people don't have to do anything about it. They can just say, like, okay, well, I agree. And then they'll never move on the subject any further than that. It's just back to business as usual for them. their life has not changed really one way or another by being on either side of the subject. And that's, I think everybody can understand that that's frustrating for a number of reasons. It's a lot of money. No ability to fly. I don't really have any bullet modifiers. So we'll just go. Shit, that was dumb. Woo. Oh shit, there's still another room. Watch it has the ability to fly. Just watch it. I should learn what my synergy is. If the player also has a Moonscraper, killing enemies with a Moonscraper has a chance to send out 3 planets which damage enemy start orbiting the player if they fail to hit. Boring. Ga, 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 ga. Did I already find the secret room? No, 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 no. No, 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 no. We're out. It might very obviously be right here, but we're out. Yeah. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. This has been a secret room devoid run. Damn, dude. I didn't grab it? Damn, I thought for sure I grabbed the gold one. Oh well. Yeah! Okay. It feels like the planets are appearing inside the enemy that has just died. It seems like it's busted. Yeah, it's not working. It's only doing damage to the recently deceased. Oh well. Yeah, you can see it happening like every time. Not doing super well in terms of health. That's great. That's great. Oh, I should see what the synergy is. Snake Maker, Twin Snakes. Don't know what that is. Gotta look it up. Hate that I have to look up this stuff all the time. Snake Maker, Holmes, Rattler shoots only beams. What the fuck? What is it? I already did that. Idiot! Idiot phone doesn't know what I've done and haven't done. We'll still go in there. Alright, almost done. Almost able to sell these two. This one still has more. Hey, that one went through. Ooh, the extra accuracy is good for this, but I still feel like something is lost with this one. I don't know why. I'm sure that it's actually just overall better. It feels so different. Doodle doodle doo doo doo. I'm going to Jackson. Doodle Jackson. Until the sun runs out. I'm going to Jackson. We're going to the long one. I'm a fucking idiot, and I'm gonna fix my idiot mistake. I am gonna make it take as long as possible to fix. I was like, we don't need to go in there yet, because this will help us remember. But like, it has a teleport in it, man. It has a fucking teleport in it. I don't know. Forgive me for not continuing to talk about the same the subject. There is still plenty to say about it, and I think anybody with like any understanding of the complex interweaving nature of systemic racism in the United States and how poorly it's been handled by people who claim to be forward-thinking people that claim to have the interests of Americans at heart. Mean, you know, they fundamentally mean certain Americans. Like, it's just hard to. It's like I was saying about the stuff with Jackie. It's hard to keep remembering constantly that the situation has not been corrected, you know? That the only thing to do is learn to live within its limitations. And that we're always going to have to tell our kids that, like my parents did with me, have to tell our kids that they need to learn to accept the way that things are, because that's just the way things are. It's so shitty, and I think any parent should feel like that's a huge problem. You say, well, the world's a mess, and doing something about it would mean changing an unjust situation. So get used to it. Just fucking get used to it. Okay. Do not drop that one. This is actually the fastest way back home. I actually thought there was no way that there was going to be any enemy or any rooms beside the boss room. Fuck. Oh my god. Wha Why are these the two weapons that I have? What is wrong with me? Why did I do that? Wallmonger. This is gonna suck. Oh, kill pillars, okay. Still kind of sucks, but different. Different kind of suck. Oh boy, I almost fucked that up big time. Oh, this would be so good with double vision or something like that. Okay. Or, you know, like, faster reloads or something. I just, like, I think the thing that's strangest to me about it all is, like, why are so many people so adverse to other people getting the opportunities that they got? Why does that idea terrify so many people? That there's a chance that the next generation of people, or people that don't look like them or whatever, could have not more, but the same opportunities. Is it a fear that if it's not exclusive to them, it loses some of its value? Is it a fear that, like... I don't know. I don't know what else it could be, honestly. Like... Because otherwise they're... Oh my god. Okay. Otherwise they're saying they understand that it's an advantage, and that they would hate to be in the situation of people that don't have that advantage, right? That has to be, like, fully understood. Otherwise, why fight for it? Why give so much of a shit? Why try to keep it from other people? I don't... Oh, I got the gun that I'm currently wielding. If you don't have a leg up, why don't you just put everybody at the same level? Why, like... I guess that's the thing that always... Oh, I should have gotten rid of some of these. That always makes it feel like their points are invalidated. Like... I don't know. It's like the people who say, like, you know, immigrants are stealing our jobs. Something that, like, my wife's mom has started harking on pretty recently, because other forms of racism are off the table now. I feel bad saying that, but, you know, whatever. Like, oh god, oh fuck, that sucks. My mother-in-law thinks that, like, that immigrants are stealing her jobs. She works in the tech sector. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. 1, 2. Try this one first. Try that one second. What synergy do we get? Some sort of blank-based synergy? Bullet kiln. That means destroying stuff in the room with that will, use the last one there. I don't feel like looking it up. I'm gonna be honest with you. Something makes blanks happen. I don't know if it needs... Oh, man. Things over blank. Thanks, regular blank. Stop! Oh yeah, the first one was a 10-minute warning. Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's a point that always comes up, like... If you don't feel like they have an advantage, Put yourself in their shoes all the way. Try it out. See how you feel. Like, why not make that the base state if it's not, if you're agreeing that you don't have an an advantageous situation. I don't know why I'm having trouble saying this. Like, oh, right. That was very shocking to me. I was kind of wondering how there was a secret room with so much. We'll save that one until the end. So I'm going to stop using weapons I don't like just to burn through the ammo, because we just got a ton of ammo. Oh my god. Oh my god, I forgot about stout bullets, like, immediately. God, we get stout bullets late in runs often. Oh, there's a lot of ammo from that, or a lot of gold. Still waiting for a package to get delivered. I think crutch is actually fine on this one. If the idea of being in someone else's situation is one that you find it, like, asking too much, like, you know, to earn the amount that women earn, or to have your vote have been a recent allowance by the government, or to know that people are going to see you and assume things about you, to be asked constantly if you play basketball, or if you, like, to have people compliment you by saying you're well-spoken, or any of that insufferable bullshit that is just non-issues, or like the other ones, the bigger ones, the ones where, you know that you're going to be considered a suspicious-looking character by police. You know that there's a greater chance that you're going to have violence acted against you. You know that there's a greater chance that you're going to be denied. It's just, there's so much, and people that are willing to act like it isn't a problem would hate. I mean, they're the same people who think that, like, if the same stuff applies to them, or even less stuff, a la wearing a mask, staying in your house during a pandemic, those things, those are insufferable injustices, right? These are not going to be the two. Oh boy, that's cool to look at though. Oh right, I'm invincible. It stays big, it looks. It does not decrease in size, so it doesn't decrease in damage. It's also much better to just use it. Oh god. Oh, that was protected. Oh, one of them went down in size. The other one did not. wow. That's actually what I didn't want to happen. Is that beam? Oh, wait. Is the Moonscraper beam homing because of a Moonscraper synergy? What the fuck's going on there? Oh my god. You sack of shit. Not a lead god. Not a fucking lead We don't need that key. I don't know why I even thought about it. It's dumb. Dumb. 7 keys and the ability to unlock locked anything for free. Stop being stupid. Stupid. Yeah. I'm going to Jackson. Whoa, those home to an extreme amount. Homing does play that. Oh, it's because they home and I also have the crutch. That's what it is. Hey, you do Jackson song. Somebody, I think it was Wondrous, told me that that's the fastest DPS of any shotgun in the game. And I don't believe him. I think he's a freaking liar. Whoa. What? Oh, they're wall guys. I was very freaked out about that for a second. Like, there's always 5. Get up there. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's the freaking loot bag. I was like, what's wrong with my character model? Why does it seem like my boy's moving funny? Yep. Oh, man. This is a good number of snakins. Snakeifines. Snakifications. I guess big guys are the ideal targets because they... Oh. They have the most HP, so you have the most actual attempts to snake them. Snake them for granted. Don't care. I'm going with that. Unless this one, like, fully wraps around, this is the right one. It does not fully wrap around. So it is the right. Damn, that was one of my actual blanks. It sucks. That's something you don't want to happen. These are probably not the two best items. Actually, you know what? They're so probably not the two best items that I am going to probably use. I'm going to start using those two, because we can use the Winchester on phase 2 of the Lich. Whoa. Get out of here. Oh, what? Get out of here, I said. And homing stuff with the crutch often feels very weird. Oh, another blank. Oh, and another. So we're back to where we were before, and it looks like we're gonna get our we're gonna get our recharge by the time we get to the boss. Yeah. Wait. 10 stops away. God, it said I was supposed to arrive this morning. I was very close, though. Yikes. It was so underwhelming. I think one thing I really like about the Crueler Glaive is how ridiculous it is, but how it just looks like I'm just like get this out of here. And then the guy pops like he's a ripe tomato. Overripe, I guess. Are you? You know what's crazy? We didn't have the big room with the agonizer in the center. Or not, yeah, it's an agonizer center on the first wave. 2 spectral gun nuts on the second wave. We didn't have that room this time. That's crazy. That's not the kind of damage I'm excited to see. Whoa, that was weird. It didn't keep up with it. We're so, like, overprotected on this run that it doesn't honestly matter if we get hit. It just doesn't matter. Like, 6 times without having done enough damage to reset the reset the thing before we don't get the LF. Thought I could maybe spring those back towards him. Ooh. Damn. Okay, these are not crushing it. This is not the one that I wanted to start the process of crushing, but... God! And it still doesn't matter. Let's get back far. I've never ever before wanted to shoot these from way far away, but now that's what I call a synergy. A synergy that makes you use a weapon in a totally different way. That's good synergy design, you know? I actually have to turn my computer off after this, because when that CPU arrives, I'm gonna have to bust this bad boy wide open and very, very fearfully, fearing for my absolute life, take out my old CPU and put in a new one. Oh boy! $1,801 bills. Crazy. Didn't have to buy keys. Oh, I mean, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all.